name is Linda Garner, and I support the school bringing in the ROTC group. I think it's a great program for young people to learn to be the patriots that we need in this time. Thank you.
Okay, so let's give a big hand for our commander. Hand up.
Thank you all. Glad to have you here. Can we have the posting of the colors, please? Can we have the pledge of allegiance, please?
Ready? Come! Present! Come!
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Post the colors, please.
Order! Come! Ready? Come! Drill! Come! Post!
And two. Thank you. Please be seated. We really want to get this thing going with the junior ROTC. We really support it. And we hope it's a success. But I want to tell you a little bit about American Legion, what we do here. That's one of the things that we do with the community is to try to help out whenever we can. Try to help veterans. It's a good place for veterans to come. And all you younger people that are veterans, we can sure need you. Need you to join up. So at this time, I'd like to pass the baton to our MC, Lynn Cogdill.
Now, when we started putting this together, we really didn't know how we was going to do it. But about 4 weeks ago, I was invited to somebody's house, and we got a chance to sit down and talk. And I got a chance to listen to him as he talked to about 25 people. And I had never met a person that really spoke from the heart and looked at a whole bunch of different issues from a very methodical point of view on how to solve the problems. So about 3 or 4 weeks went by, and I called him up and I told him about what we was going to do and that how many people in the community wanted a junior ROTC program. And he's so methodical and understanding. I was expecting to say, oh yes, I'll jump that. He says, you know something, I've heard that, let me check into it. I was going, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Well, within 24 hours, that's how fast it took him to do the research, he said that this program would be good for this school district. That this is something that our youth needs. And then I come to find out that this same gentleman had a connection with the junior ROTC program, because up until less than a week ago, I did not realize that he had worked in the boot camps here in Madera County. Also too, don't hide out. Come on in and join us. Now we know who's late. Let's give the late people a hand, guys. But this man spoke from the heart, and we spoke the last couple of weeks. And I came back and I spoke to the commander. I talked to Dave, I talked to Larry. And I said, you know, besides him working in boot camps, this guy's an investigator for the DA's office. Now, when I was younger and I thought about cops, I tried. That was the only time I was on the track and field team. So, but that was a joke, guys. But when I found out he worked in boot camp, he worked in the DA's office, and then when I found out why he does that job, because his heart is so molded into kids and youth and his family and future. So our very first speaker, I want to introduce to you, Louis Carlito.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I was going to introduce myself, but Lynn already pretty much took care of that, and I just want to focus and emphasize, talk a little bit more about me, where I come from, because you know I was once there. We were all once there, as you know, as kids growing up, and you know, kind of thinking about what we want to do in life, and I went through it. Okay, when I was about 7, 8 years old, I grew up in Madera. I went to Madera High, went through all of our public schools. I'm a product of our schools, and I happened to see a patrol car, passing through my house, where I played, and it happened to be that we were playing cops and robbers, me and my brothers. So at that point, at 7, 8 years old, I knew that I wanted to be a cop. Okay, I told myself that I wanted to be a cop. And I decided at that point that I was going to be a cop, okay? Now, what we need to help and work with the youth is to help them on that path. I had a lot of support. I went to school. I graduated, like I said, from high school. I went to college. When I got my 2-year degree from Madera Center, now Madera Community College, I went to the Fresno Police Academy to be a cop, and I'm getting a lot of questions. And that's part of the problem. Our youth does not have a clear, direct path. They need someone to be there, to support them, to guide them, okay? Because I'm getting even people, adults, that, come to me and they tell me, well, when I was growing up, when I went through school, I didn't know what was the process. What did I have to do? We have that duty to reach out to them, to tell them what they need to do. After graduating from the police academy, I started with the Madera Police Department. I was an officer with the Madera Police Department, and then I lateraled over and I began with the Madera County Probation Department, working as a detention correctional officer at the boot camp. I worked there for 2.5 years as I went to school to finish my BA degree from Fresno State. Okay, so I was working nights and going to school full time. During that time, I've always, the reason why I am in law enforcement is because I want to help my community, okay? We all want to do that, okay? I want to help my community, I want to help youth, because I believe that youth have, especially nowadays, 2 options, okay? 2 paths, okay? Good and bad. The bad is always going to be there, okay? That option is always going to be there. It is up to us to guide them in the right direction. Now, my personal opinion about the program, and if we implement it into our school district, I looked at it, and when I talked to Lynn, as he mentioned, I talked to him, and I mentioned to him that I used to work with the boot camp. I remember speaking to the cadets, okay, when they came in after getting in trouble, getting in some type of trouble that eventually got them there in the first place. And talking to them, because pretty much you're a counselor, you're talking to them, and as the months passed, I saw who they were, the way that they came in, for the environment that they came in, the mentality that they came in. But as they went to the program, they had a vision, okay? They knew what they wanted to do 6 months after getting that program. Okay? Now, as I talked to them, one of the greatest satisfactions that I got to see, and I personally got to see it, okay, is when I would go to, to our local Walmart store, to our Good for Less store, okay, to our State Mart. And I used to see some of those cadets that people thought they didn't have no option in life, they didn't have no future. We can change that. And I know that there's programs to change that, such as the JROTC program. We need to fight to help our youth, okay? I believe that that's a great program so that they have a vision, a goal in life. A lot of our kids, they would tell me, okay, sit on one-on-one, I want to do something positive, something good with my life. But they need that role model. They need that person to talk to them, okay? To get them away from the drugs, to get them away from the gangs. Because those, I guarantee you, they're always going to be there. The pressure is always going to be there. We have to fight harder than that pressure, okay? And they would tell me on one-on-one and as a group, I want to go to the service, okay? We need to fight to get them on that path. I, like myself, growing up, I had those two options. We all do, okay? Go through the good path or go through the bad path. But I believe that it takes people like me, people like Lynn, our elected officials that we have, okay, to change the statistics. We need to change that. We need to fight. We need to keep them in school, okay? By keeping our kids in school, our future is better. They are the future. They're the ones that are going to run the world. They are the future. We need to educate them. We need to provide them with the best education. That is our duty. And when I look at my kids, I have 4 kids. When I look at my kids, I want the best possible education for them. Because I know that that is going to prepare them for the future, for college. When we as elected officials, when we as parents do not do something about it and lack, okay, by not providing them with the best education, we are hurting our community, we are hurting ourselves, okay, because our kids need to be ready the minute that they get out of high school. Either prepare them so that they can go to the service. There's a lot of kids that want to go into the service. Or prepare them for the world, okay? How do we do that? To provide the best education. We have college after high school. We need to prepare them for college, okay? When you don't prepare them in high school, they're going to be behind in college, okay? We need to fight to better the level of education. Thank you guys, and I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Lynn for inviting me to speak. I really saw in those 2.5 years that I worked with youth and working in boot camp that people like Lynn, people that want to fight, people that want to mentor, that it does work, okay? And even if it only takes one, only one, that is a change, that is a juvenile that we save. Okay? Like I said, and I want to emphasize, the great, I felt really good when I went to the store and I saw those cadets that people thought that they didn't have a future. Now they're cashiers, now they're working, okay? Now they have their own families. We can do it, but we need to fight together and we need to fight to give them the best possible education better, because it starts with us. And that is what my belief, that is what I believe. I believe education. If you go to my website, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm running for the school board, Area 1. But if you go to my website, you're going to see that my belief is based on education. Education is the key to success. I wouldn't be where I am, okay, and I wouldn't be an officer, and I wouldn't be where I am right now, literally, if it wasn't because of education. Education is the key to success. We need to fight to give our kids the best possible education ever. Thank you guys.
As a matter of fact, we contacted 200 junior ROTC programs throughout the United States, including Hawaii and Alaska. We have letters from them that the school board will be getting. We have text messages from them, one of them that you will be hearing tonight. And Selma, this group right here, jumped up within less than 24 hours and says, we want to be there. We want to help. We want to help bring a junior ROTC program to you, and we want to bring our color guard. By the way, I think it's the last 2 years, or is it last year? You guys are national champions. 2 years. The last 2 years, they have been the national color guard champions. And to show you what champions they are, not only did they provide the color guard, but our next 3 speakers comes from the Selma Junior ROTC, and they have a gig tomorrow, but they squeezed Madeira into their schedule. So let's give them a big hand at 8 o'clock.
Good evening, everyone. All right. I'm Matt Cruz. I'm one of the marine instructors at Selma High School JROTC program. And I'm here to talk a little bit what the program has to offer for you. That's very important to us. The first thing, but before I do anything, the first thing I want to say is what it's not. And that is a military recruiting tool. Our job is not to recruit into the military. Our goal actually is basically to take America's youth, providing them tools and skills necessary so they can go and succeed after they graduate high school, whether it be self-employment, education, or even employment of itself. So we're not here to recruit, we're here to take and make them better people. There are 260 high schools in our nation that have the Marine Corps Junior ROTC program. The other services have their own as well. So out of 260, we're in the separate region, Region 4, which is consists of 50 schools. And these schools range from New Mexico, Washington, Oregon, Alaska, and Hawaii. So we're pretty spread out. What I want to touch bases is we have a curriculum that we utilize to teach these individuals. Okay, we teach citizenship, we teach leadership, public growth, public service, and we do touch base on a little bit of general military subjects. But those are the two things we use so they can better themselves, and hopefully they can become better citizens, grow up, do bigger and better things out in the world. But the main thing that I wanted to touch bases is that it's a misunderstanding that ROTC is pro-military. That's not the case. Okay? Our number one priority is to get each one of them. We have 125 students in our program. Our goal is to get all 125 of them to go to a 4-year university. That's what our goal is. Okay? On top of the additional work, they get involved with the community. We have students that do up to 200 community service hours in one school year. A lot of those cadets, they stay within the program for all 4 years. That's a lot of hours, but they enjoy it. They go out there, they're part of the community, help each other out, and even the community themselves, they know who we are, they know who the cadets are. Other things they put in a lot of work, but they also have a lot of fun too. They have, we participate in various competitions. In fact, like we said, we have a community service event tomorrow. We also have a competition tomorrow. We're going up to Stockton for a sporting event, various sporting events. It's community service, and then we also deal with mentorship. And that's the number one reason why I enjoy the job so much. It's a lot of hours, I will say that, but it provides me with an opportunity to mentor young individuals to succeed in life. So that's what my job is. In addition to that, I'm going to go ahead and provide our other instructor, First Sergeant Lynn, an opportunity to speak on behalf of the program. And by all means, if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Thank you. First Sergeant.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I talk, of course you already know we're going to talk positive about it, but the ones you really need to hear from are the students that are actually in the program. So first one I'm going to have up is our cadet first sergeant. He's a third-year cadet in our program. Cadet Romero, and no, we're not related.
Good evening. I'm Cadet First Sergeant Romero, coming first sergeant of our ROTC program. When I first joined ROTC, I did not believe that I would be in this type of leadership position. I was a very shy cadet, also didn't really want to communicate with a lot of other cadets. But once they actually, put me on the spot, showed me that taking leadership roles is a good thing around your school. And also getting involved more is a good thing also in the community. Like Master Sergeant said, we do a lot of community service. We're always busy. We also take a lot of pride in education. We do a lot of schooling, and they always tell us this every day. Stay in your grades. Always have A's and B's. Have above 2.0 GPA. I really became connected with ROTC because I also do football and it keeps me really busy. I have to work out. I still maintain that certain balance of it, and it is hard. I'm not saying it isn't easy, or it is easy, but I take a lot of pride in this program, and I love it. And I plan on joining a four-year college after this. And I am currently not. I do not know if I do want to join the military, but it's certainly an option. Thank you. Introduce Cadet P.C. Gonzalez. She's the fourth-year cadet in this program.
My name is Cadet P.C. Gonzalez. I'm a fourth-year cadet. I'm a senior at Selma High School. This program has really benefited me in so many ways due to extracurricular activity, community service. It is a lot of hours, like both our instructors have said, due to whether it's waking up at 0400 in the morning and being on time. It benefits because knowing that we get to help others, whether it's just helping serve food, helping set up events, everything. This program has benefited me so much because it gives me more confidence in everything I do. And I have gained so many leadership positions. I've gained so much leadership confidence in everything I've done. I honestly don't know what to say. But this program is such a great program. Yes. As a female in the program, you would think I would have to join the military. When I was first joined, I was like, no, I don't want it. But once I joined, I was like, okay, I guess I'll give it a try. And once I gave it a try, I fell in love with the program. Because I gained relationships with students as in friendships, like, hey, I never knew him before. But now it's like, we become a whole family. Competitions, whether it's drill team, PT team, marksmanship. We just do so many things together. You gain these relationships and friendships with others. And knowing that you will always have friends on your side to help you get through schoolwork, community service, anything, it just helps us in every single way. And just knowing everything, this is a great program.
I got notes just in case I do forget some stuff. All right. One thing she failed to mention, I get a lot of questions. What about females? Do they join the military? How do they like the program? How do they benefit from the program? Selma is a dominantly Hispanic community. A lot of migrant workers. 85% of the school enrollment is Hispanic. Through culture, I'm from New York. I'm from the East Coast. Come over here. there's different, cultural things that I see, and one thing that I do notice is that the females in our school are very apprehensive, very shy, whether it's through culture or whatever. That's one thing that any female that joins in our program, we give them a voice. We tell them that this is the way you were brought up, but when you go and grow up and move on, you have to have a voice. You can't go and rely on men. That's just the way the world is. The other thing is that she had the benefit of being in 2 different programs. She was in the Navy program at Reedley and then came over to Selma for the Marine program. So she's got to experience 2 different programs. JROTC, as they mentioned, our program is the #1 program, Marine Corps program in the state of California and the Western region for the last 2 years. We've done it 3 times in the 22 years that we've been around, and we've been a Naval Honor School, which is the top 10% in our region for 19 out of the 22 years. Facility that you provide for the JROTC program is important, but not the most important thing, in my opinion. The most important thing that you need to consider is the instructors that you hire. Whether it's an Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marine Corps program, the instructors would drive the success of the program. The instructors have to understand, or when you decide, if you should decide to have an ROTC, you need to set the standard very high for instructors. And let them know after 1 year, you know what, you're not providing a sacrifice, therefore we're looking for the program. When we submit our annual report, which we call our boss, our regional director, our score comparison to the other schools that we compete wasn't even close. When I make phone calls up to Washington, D.C. and tell them, hey, I need money for this and I need money for that, the nickname that we have is the traveling school. Because the next 5 schools underneath us combined don't travel as much as we do. The experience that they get to go out and travel to different areas. We go to Alabama, Ohio, Nevada, Arizona, right? How do we do that? Our American Legion supports us very strongly financially. We also get financial support from other organizations. When we do community service, we do such a great job that we've been offered money without even asking. Our school district could provide us financial support, but they provide the one support that we need the most. That if we ask for something, that they're going to be there for us. The principal of the school also drives the success of the program. There are schools out there that the principal of the school does not approve of the program for one reason or another, and the support that the program will receive is not there. The instructors are fighting that aspect. It does cost a lot of money to do this stuff. You don't have to do as much as we do. We're kind of like the exception to the norm, but that's because myself and the Master Sergeant choose to participate that much. You could do half of what we do, and on a budget, you're looking at probably $15,000, $20,000. That's with donations and support like that. The vehicle transportation is the big one. That's where the JROTCs, whether they get to participate or not, the community, whether the community recognizes the program. I feel that our program pushes the other students in school. As far as recruiting for service, 2 things. Number 1, we had a young lady who refused to join our program her first 2 years in the program because she had a boyfriend in the program. And we have a rule, no dating between different ranks. She waited to her junior year. She took the ASVAB test, which we force is a bad word, but we make all our sophomores and above take the test. The reason why is the ASVAB test is not an entrance exam for the military. The ASVAB test is also provides guidance as to letting students know where their strength is. You know, you're going to be, I want to be a doctor, but no, you're good to be a lawyer. Or I want to be a lawyer, no, you're good to be a police officer. That test will let them know that. She scored so well on it, she was set bound on joining the Marine Corps. We called her dad and said, well, if she's that determined to join the military, she needs to go and apply for a service academy. And she's now in her 3rd year at the Naval Academy. So all her schooling has we got another young lad who is in his senior year. He was the CEO of our program. And he went off to Arizona State and was bound and determined to be in the Marine program, and he received a scholarship as well. Now to feed off, excuse me? Mr. Cogdill, what he said about gangs and all that, the CEO of our program was involved in a gang during his junior year. Last year we had a major incident, well this year, but last school year we had a major incident on campus. The students in that group that were fighting on campus, and many of them got arrested, it was over 10 students, he was part of that group. And he came to us and he said, thank you, if it wasn't for the program, I'd be locked up right now. So it's, you know, it's options that, you know, are provided out there. It's just another thing that's out there for the students to go and say, let me see if this is for me. And if it is, they may enjoy it. A lot of them like structure. And that's what the program provides, is structure. Thank you.
Let's go down the list here of who I see that really, oh, by the way, I had a gentleman that's in the National Guard that told his Sergeant Torres that he is now in the National Guard, and he swears up and down that he wished that he had a junior ROTC in his high school before he went to the National Guard because he didn't like washing dishes. So Mr. Gallows, would you please stand up? Tell us why you wanted a junior ROTC in your program after you got to become an E1 and do the KP duty.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Igor. I'm a specialist. I went to Madera South High School 4 years right there.
You just put the microphone up closer to your mouth.
Well, basically, when I was in high school, I really wanted to join like an ROTC program. I was really looking into like military, but Madera South didn't have it. So I had to find another way to feel like a belonging. So I ended up joining Boston. It was good and all, but I still wanted that like challenging part of life right there. So when it came up senior year of my high school career, during that time, I went to a college center where they were talking to me about different branches, and I was like, I want to go to college. So when I met Sergeant Torres, that's Sergeant Torres right here, he opened up a new door for me for new opportunities. Thanks to him, I had so many opportunities, but like how I had to tell him, I didn't want to just work in the field like a normal Hispanic person is seen as. I wanted to do more. And I'm also a tutor at Jasmine Middle School. And some of these students that graduated or promoted from Jasmine Middle School, I see them at South Campus, and they come to me, hey, Mr. Gallegos, how can I get into a program with military? I'm like, oh, sorry, they don't have it here. So they're already telling me. I'm not sure if it's because they see me as a good role model. Maybe their parents are not there for them. But over here at Jasmine Middle School, we always go from Monday to Friday every single day, and we try to make activities for them. And somehow, one of them saw me at the store in uniform. That's when I had to go just real quick. And he spread the word to everyone. So now everybody's like, oh, so how is it? They want to get that feeling. Some of them don't have no type of discipline. I have seen it. Get all the junior ROTC will help them out dramatically. So I say it's very a structural organization that we can have in the high school. It's going to keep a lot of revenue in control.
This here is one of our high school graduates of Madera. And I want to turn you to the left here, to this table right over here. And didn't you say that you would have benefited tremendously if we had a junior ROTC program in our high school, Mr. Al?
Yes.
Hey, let's give him a hand, folks. Okay, we're coming to the end, and we got a lot of people to thank. And I want to show you everybody here the wide support that we have for this. First of all, this dinner was advertised for at least 2 months. So I want our elected officials of Madera, and I want you to pay attention to our politicians that came here to listen to this group and to listen to you. And if you have any questions of them, they will be there. And matter of fact, the first one I'm going to call up was actually a junior ROTC graduate from Los Angeles. Mr. City Councilman Derek Robinson, please stand up. City Councilman Don Hawley served in the Army. Please stand up. Al Galvez, our newly elected Ruben Mendoza of the school board, please stand up. And since Mr. Lewis, let's have him stand up because he's trying to get there. Stand up, Mr. Lewis. Let's give him a hand. Okay. Our Commander Hancock and all the officers, we have the district, or is it regional? District, there he is. Let's give him a hand and let's have him come up and say a little bit about the junior ROTC, and we're going to close right after that. This is our district.
I wasn't expecting that, so. My name is J.D. Bennett. I'm the District Commander for District 14 of the American Legion. And we have our Selma Post over here. Our commander from Selma Post is advocate. And the first box is over here. We have your JROTC American Legion here that hosted this. I oversee 3 counties, 23 different posts, and each one of those posts have, not each one of them, but a lot of those posts actually sponsor an ROTC program. Now, I live in Sanger. I work out of the state headquarters, which is now in Sanger, and we have an ROTC program in Sanger. It's a Navy ROTC program, and I do a lot of marksmanship work with them. Have you seen you guys? Okay, just so you know, you got a Marine training room. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I got involved with the ROTC program 2 years ago, and I started helping Commander Brian Kenyon at Sanger with his NJ ROTC program. And I can't tell you just the exhilaration of watching these kids. They come into the program. I just watched this young lady. She's a little shy. I seen her up here, and she seemed to be a little timid, a little shy. And then I've seen this young man up here, this first sergeant, who obviously came out of his shell. He's bold. These kids learn from these programs. They take the leadership skills that their instructors teach them. They get to go out. I've been able to be a part of several of the awards banquets with the Sanger ROTC program. We give them awards, we give them scholarships, and the American Legion has 3 ribbons that they give out. One is scholastic, one is marksmanship, and one is leadership, military leadership. And these kids, once they, if they go through this ROTC program and join the military, the ribbon that they get from the American Legion has been approved by the Department of Defense to wear on their uniforms. So that's one of the first ribbons that they have on that, what we call in the military, fruit bowl. That's one of the first ribbons that they get to wear on that ribbon rack. And I can't tell you what a pleasure it is for me to work with these kids, because I see them grow, I see their leadership skills enhance, and they go from shy to bold in a matter of 4 years, and sometimes it's sooner than that. But the leadership skills, just the leadership skills alone, that takes them into their communities, they become community leaders. They become business owners. A lot of them do go in the military, which enhances their abilities in the military to become the leaders that keep our country free. And I can't tell you, it's an honor for me to work with each one of these students as they develop and watch them grow. It's just amazing the transformation that we see.
National Guard, please stand up. Madera Optimist, please stand up. NAAC Axel, looks like, did they leave? Yeah, now, okay, the NAACP Axel group was here. Butterfly Fitness. Okay, I'm going to name off the businesses. The Riviera Group, this is representing Lavina. Yeah, well, go ahead, please stand up. The Bellevue Group, one of them ran off, but we got a real spirited one here. Matter of fact, you two little guys, come up here. I run into these guys every week. I'm down on Bellevue and Clinton, and they see my car, and them 12 people are jumping up. Stand up here next to me. You guys are always helping me out, okay? All right. The other thing, too, is we have another group here called CSCA. Their attorney, Deborah Garabini, is from Fresno. She is not from Madera. When she heard about this, she couldn't get a check in fast enough to buy a table. But Deborah Garabini, attorney for CSCA for Madera, Fresno, and other school districts, please stand up with your group.
That book for your signature is sitting right there in front of Lynn.
Okay, this journey started 5 years ago. There's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of sweat, a lot of disappointment, and a lot of arguments that went along with it. We drove from here to Kansas and all the way across to learn about that. Many of you have heard of her. Many of you have never met her. I try not to see her. But with my wife, who has been fighting with me for this JROTC program, please come up here and read this letter from this mother that was sent here to Arizona to this group. My wife, Lynn Cogdill, which I tried only to see about once, 3 months. She's a registered nurse. She works nights, and she arranged her schedule just to be up here with you guys to fight for this junior ROTC program. And please read this letter. And this came from a mother of a cadet from Arizona.
If you don't think we need a JROTC program at MUSD, you need to read this letter from a mother whose child has special needs. I just received this letter and can't stop reading it. Whom it may concern. My son is a second-year cadet, and JROTC has been the best thing that could have happened to him. For any parent wondering if their child could do ROTC and be successful, I would assure them that if my son can do it, can do this and be successful. Any child can. My son is a special needs student, legally diagnosed with ADD and social disability. He can participate in sports, has always been a social outcast and didn't have any friends. The instructors and student commanders are committed to the success of every cadet, and he now has friends. My son is on the drill team. His squad brought home trophies, and he knows that he played a part in that. He has the pride of being involved in something bigger than himself, and it's done amazing things for his self-esteem. There are many students who can participate in sports and aren't theatrical, so there isn't place for them to showcase their ability outside of academies. JROTC provides that place. JROTC teaches cadets about honor and having character and how to be a responsible member of society. It holds them to a bigger standard, and the look on their face when they rise to that standard is priceless. I can't say enough about this amazing program. Shell Clevenger.
We've been fighting for 5 years. Well, we've been young for 5 years, but you're going to see up here anyway. Al Galvez, would you please come up here? These kids have something to give to you. Al, we wanted 1,000 signatures to give to you tonight, but we had to get this place ready for everybody here, so we only got a little over 500, but you got 450 more coming. So these kids, which this one here, your name, sir?
My name is Caesar Uribe. I'm from Millview Elementary, and my principal is your wife.
These are the kids that we want, the community wants, the junior ROTC, and they are going to present to you to share with your other trustees these signatures. Thank you.
I accept the signatures are on here on behalf of the school board. I just want to say a few things. My son, I don't have a military background. Yesterday in Maryland, my son was in a ceremony to receive his commission as lieutenant commander. So I have a little background in the military, and I'm proud of him for what he's done. I can't tell you what he does because I wasn't even allowed to attend his ceremony. But what I'd like to say is that, you know, what I needed to do today was kind of hear about, and the impacts it has. And I knew a little bit about it, but it was informational for me to get here because it's a decision that the board has to make, and so you know how the process works. Is that we will take this information and kind of absorb it because we have to look at different things. We just can't say it's a great program, we just implement it. But I do have, I guess I have 2 sergeants here that we can recruit to Madera if we decide to do it. And it makes our life easier if we can do it that way. But, you know, the process will include, you know, what is it going to take to implement the program? I know Lynn has a vision of trying to implement it at the new high school, which won't be ready until another 2 or 3 years. So we would look at that option, but we also have to look at the 2 high schools that exist right now. Is that somewhere where we start? So we have to look at all those. What's the budget? How do we get officers to be the instructors? And how does that work? We have to be credentialed. So it's a new process for us. It won't happen overnight, but at least we'll have an opportunity to kind of share those ideas with our staff and make some decisions. This is something that, of course, with the support of the community, that's going to be vital. You'll need to come to our board meetings when we talk about the junior ROTC program and share your enthusiasm about this. You need to hear that. The 500 signatures is great, but we also need to hear the parents because having 500 signatures, what does that relate to in regards to how many kids are actually available to do it? You know, that's what we need to know. You indicated there's about 125 students in your school. So is that the target? So we need to know exactly how many kids are actually want to be part of this process. So starting now and until we figure out how we're going to do this, and if it's the new high school, we have a couple years to get that accomplished. But again, I don't want to stand up here and say, well, we're for it, we're going to do it, because I can't do that. I'm one of 7 board members that has to make a decision. But we also need this information to make that decision. I like the program, I like what I heard, the leadership skills, community feedback you get back to the community. Those are all integral parts of being productive citizens of our community. That's what we want. We want our kids to have those opportunities to do that. And how do we do that? Because we can't continue to do what we've been doing for the last 10, 15, 20 years. It's not working. So we have to look at new innovative ideas. And junior ROTC is what we have to do, and that's what we need to do. So thank you very much.
I actually use him quite a bit to get answers and also to consult with him. And just by what he says, I know that he's going to take this very, very seriously. And because you guys were here tonight, he's going to see what he can do and talk to his other members to make this happen. We're at the close now. Our chaplain will come up here and give a prayer. I'm sure he's going to be praying for Al Galvez for next board meeting.
Thank you very much. I just want to say my support for the junior ROTC program. Our son was a graduate years ago from the junior ROTC program at High School. He went on to the Air Force, and he's just now getting ready to retire. So it's hard to believe, but he had a lot of opportunities that would not have been his way if he had not been in the Air Force Junior ROTC program there at Duncan High School. So I really want to say that the encouragement, and for you guys, there's a long, doesn't seem to be the military, but he chose the military, but still a lot of them didn't, and they're doing very well. A lot of his friends have written to ROTC, some didn't go in for medical reasons or whatever. They went on the discipline and the learning and the education they received from the junior ROTC program. Otherwise, someone would straight off. Believe me, some even admitted to myself now years down the road, they would have straight off if it had not been for what they had, the basic grassroots at the junior ROTC program. So, and he went on to be air refueler. I'm not sure if you know what that is. Two aircraft refuel each other in the air. He's a man who flew the boom, and he's proud to say that he was here. He lives out of state now, but he will probably say that he is refueled in the air, Air Force One, twice with the President of the United States in the aircraft. So there's a lot of opportunities that all began with this from the junior ROTC programs. And as we get ready to pray here, the Lord says that man failed because of lack of knowledge. But if you educate and lead people, and lead the young, lead the youth in the correct way to go, later on in life, it will not depart from them. That's not me saying it, that's what the Lord said. So, a little word of thought right there. So, but anyway, as we now close, I'll have you move, please, and let's go before the Lord.
Let's go out for delicious angel cakes from Fresno. Made a sheet cake that's got the Junior ROTC motto and mission on it. And please take a piece and let's have some sweetness for Junior ROTC, and thank you for being here tonight.
Mermaid, and I'm with the Optimist Club, and we're here to support the ROTC program here in Madera, California. I think it's a great program for the kids, training them up, does a lot of good extra curricular things for the kids. and starts them off on their education. We think it's a great plan for our kids here in the Valley.
John Hancock, Post 11 Commander. We're all, me and everybody at the American Legion are behind this junior ROTC. I think it's a great thing for our youth, and we like seeing them. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Tommy Wheat. I live here in Madera. I'm here with my wife, Fran Wheat, and we support ROTC. We think it's a very good program.
My name is Royal Goodman. I'm a member of the Veteran Foreign Wars here in Madera, also Optimus Club Madera. You know, these kids nowadays need some kind of structure, and I think the ROTC here at the new high school will be a great plus for them. You know, one thing for kids to grow up in this society, it's getting harder and harder with all the crimes nowadays. But these kids need some structure. And that ROTC, I think, would be a great plus. Please get us with it. Thank you.
My name is Andrew Rios, Post 11, American Legion. I support ROTC.